Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about how to pursue a career in nursing, particularly through the MSc pre-registration nursing. And I have a special guest in the house today. God knows how long I've been chasing after her to come and sit down and have this discussion with me. So the good thing about my guest today, she's going to be introducing herself to you, but the good thing about her is she's going to be giving you first-hand experience about the MSc pre-registration program. So hello Sophia, would you like to introduce yourself to us today?
Hi, my name is Sophia and I am a registered nurse.
Drums roll!
So I came into the UK through the MSc nursing route, and I finished to the glory of God. So it's been good.
So guys, you see why you don't have to switch over to any other channel. Stay tuned and we'll be right back to dive into the juicy gist that we have for you.
Yes.
Welcome back, guys. So my first question for Sophia today is, what is the pre-registration nursing program, the MSc pre-registration nursing program? What's it about?
Okay, so the MSc pre-registration program is a means for people who have like other qualifications, who have an interest in nursing, to get their nursing school done. So it's 2 years course, right? And you transition from whatever degree into a fully qualified nurse, and you're allowed to practice. So that is literally what MSc registration. So it's done at master's level. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So guys, you've heard it. Now let's move on to the next question. What are the entry requirements, particularly for international students?
Okay, so for international students, it's quite different in the sense that you have to prove that you meet the criteria for this course. So some schools will say any degree or any background is enough to apply for the MSc nursing, while some schools will say specifically health related courses. So that's the first qualification. You need to weigh and check, okay, what school am I applying to and what do they say regarding this MSc nursing course. And then another requirement for the international perspective is that you need to do an English language test. So you need to have a first of all, like I said before, a degree in some course, at least 2-1, 2-2, depending on your school's requirement. Then the next thing you need to have is English language tests.
Okay.
So they need to know that you have studied or you've been learning before in English language. So that's something you might need to prove as an international student. And then most importantly, work experience. I think this is the part where like most people always struggle, like they don't know what exactly they are looking for as work experience. So
would you mind sharing more light? What kind of work experience would this be? How do you gain this work experience? Just briefly, what work experience do you need? What kind of places should you be looking at or aiming for if you haven't got that experience? What are the things you should be doing? What kind of things should you be doing on that job that will qualify for the work experience that the pre-registration nursing program requires?
Okay, so you're going into a nursing course, right? So the pre-registration nursing course requires you to have experience in healthcare. So for me, it was quite easy because I had a background in health, and I was already exposed to that type of experience in the sense that I worked at a community practice. So we had community outreaches where they want to see that you have interacted with patients before, or they want to see that you have that interaction with people in health spaces, because there are core skills that are required for such a person who has been like in that kind of space. So volunteering in like a hospital, in a community practice, those things are the kinds of experiences that they probably look at. They're not looking for personal experiences. Like now, for instance, if you say I've taken care of my grandma before or my grandpa, that's not the kind of experience they're looking for. So they're looking for something to just show that, okay, I have an understanding of what healthcare is. I've been in that situation where I'm helping people and I'm interacting with them daily, and it has to do with like their health and well-being. So any type of those experiences should,
Surface.
surface. Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, are there a particular number of months of experience you need? Like, say, 2 months experience, 3 months experience. I know in the UK it's translated to
Into
hours,
hours.
right?
Yeah.
So I know universities differ, of course, but just giving an overview, like an idea, what would you say? How many months experience do we need in terms of hours that
Okay.
we need?
So I don't know how to convert it now into a month, but I'll say give it a good 3 4 months. Like, but then hours wise, they'll say 700 hours. So when you look at it, you have to really break it down. You're not working every day of the week, right? You're not going to be volunteering or have working in those spaces every day of the week. So 700 hours, and then translate it into the kind of job you're doing or the kind of experience you're getting. So if you're working in the community and it's a 9 to 5 job, Monday to Friday, that's about
40 hours per
yeah per
week.
week. So if you calculate 40 hours, then it should give you roughly how many months you should have worked before, for that. But I'll say 700 as a minimum, just so that you have, enough to prove. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to preparing for the course. Of course, someone coming from a non-health related background, or even if it's health related, as long as it's not nursing, it's not nursing. How do you prepare for this course? Of course, you'll be interviewed. There's a lot of processes you go through. How
Yeah.
do you actually prepare for the interview, apart from this hands-on clinical experience you would have had, either by volunteering or actually working and getting paid for it? What other ways can you prepare so that you make sure you are going to pass the interview? Because it's one thing to have all the requirements, it's another thing to actually pass the interview.
Yeah. So this question is really good because I feel like they're kind of intertwined in the sense that having your requirements gives you a good chance, because the interview sessions are usually realistic questions. They want to see how well you have implemented what you wrote down, like in your personal statement. So first of all, I would say work on your personal statement and try to impress them in that area first,
Okay.
because a lot you put into it now bets what will be asked during the interview. But generally, like on a general note, I think for the interview, you need to first understand the difference between working back in your home country and working here. What are the values that are attached to, being a health worker or a nurse in the UK, right? So the UK prides themselves with like some key values, the NHS values itself, like care values. So those are the things I think one should, like, look up first, read about, understand, then apply it. Like apply whatever you have read into your own context in terms of your volunteering experience, because they will ask you your care values. They want to know that you're a compassionate person. They want to know that you uphold the values that they hold dear to heart. Those are the things that they want to know at an interview level. And then nursing is a highly skilled course. You need to literally, those things when people say you put in your CV, I know how to work under pressure.
Oh goodness, you're hearing, guys. Oh, you're
So
hearing.
you need to actually know some key skills, and if I could list some,
Yeah.
it'll be like time management, it will be like, planning ahead, of organizational skills, because these are the kinds of questions they want to ask you during the interview, and to like find out, okay, what does this person even understand about nursing. So that's why I said they're kind of intertwined. Like your experience really bets, how well you can ace the interview, because they are more of application questions in a sense. So,
Okay, thank you
yeah.
so much. Now, let me ask one other question. How do you prepare academically? Because you are coming on a level 7 course.
Yeah.
Now, guys, if you don't know what a level 7 course is a master's course. So you are studying at a master's level, not the BSc level. And first things first, the way we study back in our home countries, I don't know where you're watching me from, is different from the UK. So that is one other shock that you need to transition into, you need to adapt to.
Yeah.
Besides that, you are studying at a higher level, which has its own expectations. Now, you are also studying at a higher level for a course that you have not done before.
True.
So, in terms of background reading, because you need to prepare, in my opinion, I feel you need to prepare academically so you don't go and fail, because there's a level of expectation they already have of you. They are not going to be spoon feeding you,
No,
right?
nobody's
So
spoon-feeding
how
anybody.
exactly do you prepare academically so that you don't just come here and you feel like they've thrown you into an ocean? How do you prepare academically?
So I'll say nursing is a very practical skill, right? You put what you've learned into practice. But preparing academically from an international point of view would mean, for me personally, what I was doing was, okay, I knew I was changing degrees, and I knew the impact that you're going into a course that has to deal with life. So it's that understanding that now prompts you into like looking up things. So whenever I was at my volunteering place, because I volunteered in the hospital, I would look up things that I haven't seen before, especially if you're not a science student where you've learned biology before. I think I had an edge because I was a science student, but there's still some things that were like, hey, I don't understand what's going on here, you know. So it's just taking out time. Like, it's not just about applying. It's about, okay, as I'm applying, I'm also reading up things. And thank God for the internet. Like, the internet is vast with information. So you just keep prepping your mind, you know, once in a while, look up things about the human anatomy. Maybe just, you know, look up things about, because the truth is you can't learn all, but then you can give yourself an edge. You can start preparing your mindset. And importantly, I think the hardest part for an international student will be the way the UK grades the assessments in terms of like writing essays. And I would say work on yourself personally, like from a critical point thinking aspect, because many of the things that you do as a nursing student, and especially a level 7 nursing student, will be critical thinking. You know, you need to learn how to like think out of the box, work on grammar. How can I construct this? How can I, you know? So those are the things I would say that if you are starting to implement before you come, you can just, you know, brush up on those skills when you come. But then there's always help when you come. That's one good thing too as well. There's always
Thank you
help.
very much. Now, talking about the MSc pre-registration, I know there's a lot of things to cover. So obviously, we'll still have you back on the channel to shed more light.
problem,
But one
I'm happy.
final aspect that I want you to talk about is the financial preparation, because bulk of the whole course lies on finance. And it can be mentally draining when you have so much to do academically, but then the major problem is finance. So can you shed more light? What is it like financially? Obviously, schools differ, right?
Yeah.
But just giving an overview, how well can you actually prepare in terms of finance?
I would say, hey, this is a whole journey. This is a whole journey. Like, so as much as there's that eagerness to, you know, come and study nursing, you need to actually really check your pockets. Check your pockets, guys. because I mean, it's a lot mentally, right? And yeah, you're allowed to maybe work while you're schooling, but I promise you, there are days whereby if you want to graduate and graduate well, working at that point might not be the best option for you in sense. So preparing financially, you have to come up with a plan of how you would, you know, save up money before coming, how to prepare some of your school fees at least before coming into the country, because it's a whole lot. They will keep you busy Monday through Sunday. You know, okay, let me not exaggerate, but yeah, you get your weekends on some days. But then when you start doing placements, it's almost like you're working full time
Yeah, without pay.
without pay. So you need to have a plan for that. You need to come up with a saving strategy, you know. If it means that you, okay, maybe you're a self-funded person and your maybe your parents or family members can help you out, that's fine. But then I think anybody traveling to another man's country should prepare for the financial aspect. You can't just up and leave like a few million pounds in your account. You need to prepare.
Very
You
well.
need to prepare very well for it. Just save up, have a plan. How much am I going to, like, need each month for bills? Because bills are real. Bills
So
are real.
guys, you've heard it from Sophia. Thank you so much for coming on the channel.
You're
I hope you
welcome.
found this insightful. If you have any questions for her, please leave it in the comment section. Of course, I'm going to be bringing her back to the channel because we are going to be diving in more detailed into some of the things that she has highlighted, like the interview. Just don't worry, I got you covered, okay? I got you covered. So she's going to be shedding more light, but that will be at another time, okay? Thank you
Okay.
so much. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're
Please
waiting
subscribe,
for.
oh.
Subscribe,
Like, oh,
like.
share.
You heard that. And until we meet again, guys, keep winning and enjoying life. And I love you guys. Bye.